Hello and a warm welcome to MedX, the latest from the world of medicine. The U.S. FDA has approved Mosunetuzumab immunotherapy for the treatment of adult patients with relapsed or refractory follicular lymphoma after 2 or more lines of systemic therapy. This approval is based on positive results from the Phase 2 study in patients with heavily pretreated follicular lymphoma, including those with a high risk of disease progression or patients whose disease was refractory prior to therapies. Almost 80% of patients who received at least 2 prior therapies achieved durable response rates, with 60% experiencing complete remission. Majority of the patients demonstrated a response for at least 18 months, with the median duration of response at about 2 years. U.S. FDA has granted an accelerated approval to Lecanemab for the treatment of Alzheimer's disease to slow down the decline of memory and thinking in patients. The accelerated approval for the treatment comes from Phase 3 trial investigating Lecanemab in patients with mild cognitive impairment or mild dementia stage of disease and confirmed presence of amyloid beta pathology. In the Phase 3 study, Lecanemab 10 mg per kilogram every 2 weeks had a significant dose and time-dependent reduction of amyloid beta plaques from baseline compared to the placebo arm, which showed no reduction of amyloid beta plaques. Lecanemab is indicated for patients with mild cognitive impairment or those in the mild dementia stage of Alzheimer's disease. The current U.S. and European guidelines recommend a dual antiplatelet therapy of 12 months for acute coronary syndrome and at least 6 months for stable coronary artery disease for patients with low bleeding risk. The optimal duration of dual antiplatelet therapy, given after percutaneous coronary intervention using drug-eluting stents, is still under debate. The DAPT trial investigated whether 1 to 2 months of dual antiplatelet therapy followed by Clopidogrel is non-inferior to 12-month dual antiplatelet therapy followed by aspirin and Clopidogrel therapy. An increase in cardiovascular events, but reduced bleeding risk was observed with Clopidogrel monotherapy after 1 to 2 months of dual antiplatelet therapy. But this fails to ascertain its non-inferiority to the 12-month aspirin and Clopidogrel therapy. A study investigated the association between endometriosis and pregnancy losses, making a distinction between the number of pregnancy losses. The study concluded that compared to women who did not have endometriosis, women with endometriosis were more likely to experience 1, 2, and 3 or more pregnancy losses. Subgroup analyses demonstrated that women with endometriosis and adenomyosis alone revealed a stronger association between endometriosis and a greater number of pregnancy losses. These were the latest highlights from around the world of medicine. Tune in for more such fresh updates.